Here we have a problem on derivative. So that is we have to find the derivative of the function given over here, and also we have to give the domain of the derivative. Actually, finding derivative of this function is pretty simple because we can use the power law of derivative, because here the stuff is in the form of x to the nth power. Okay, whenever I want to find the derivative of some stuff which is in the form of x to the nth power, so what I need to do is I have to bring this exponent in front of the variable and subtract 1 from the exponent. This is the power law of derivative. Okay, now let me apply this stuff in our problem. So now let me find the derivative of f of x, that is f prime of x. Okay, so to get the derivative of this one, I have to bring this exponent 4 7 in front of x and subtract 1 from the exponent. So then I'll be getting 4 7 times x to the power 4 7 negative 1. Okay, now I have to simplify this. Here there is 1 subtracted from the fraction 4 7. So whenever an integer is subtracted from a fraction, I just have to multiply the integer part by the denominator. Once I'm done with this multiplication, I can write this 7 as a common denominator. Okay, let me do it. So 4 7 times x. Okay, now I multiply this 1 by 7. 1 times 7 is just 7. 4 negative 7. So once I'm done with this multiplication, I can take this 7 as a common denominator for the both the numbers in numerator. Okay, so the next step it will be f prime of x equals to 4 over 7 times x to the power. So 4 negative 7 will become negative 3 over 7. Okay, here the exponent is negative. When I'm giving a final answer to a math problem, usually we don't give the exponent in negative value. So even if we get the final answer with negative exponent, we'll convert the negative exponent to positive exponent. So how can we convert this negative exponent, negative 3 over 7, to positive? Very simple. Just have to move this term to denominator. Okay, f prime of x equals to 4 over. So I am moving this term to denominator because my aim is to make this negative exponent as positive. Already we have 7 in denominator. When I move this x to the power negative 3 over 7 to denominator, then it will become 7 times x to the power positive 3 over 7. The negative exponent becomes positive. Okay, so now I got the derivative of the given function, that is f prime of x equals to 4 over 7 times x to the power 3 7. And also we have to answer one more question, that is we have to give the domain of the derivative. So domain of the derivative means I have to find out the values of x for which f prime of x is defined. Particularly, I have to find the values of x for which f prime of x is undefined. So that those values of x have to be excluded from the domain. So here there is a variable in denominator. So what if x equals to 0 over here? X equals to 0 means 0 to the power, 0 to the power anything will become 0. And when 0 is multiplied by 7, everything will become 0 in denominator when x is 0. So when x is 0, the denominator becomes 0. In a fraction, if the denominator is 0, then the value of the fraction is undefined. So x equals to 0 in this case makes f prime of x becomes undefined. So x equals to 0 has to be excluded from the domain. Otherwise, for any value of x, this function is, the f prime of x is defined. So the domain of f of x, f prime of x equals to all real numbers except 0, because when I plug in x is equal to 0, the denominator here becomes 0 and the fraction becomes undefined. The value of f prime of x becomes undefined. So we exclude 0 from the domain. So that is the domain is all real numbers except 0.